Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I'm very happy that this year also we could meet again each other on Buddha Purnima. In this pandemic situation, the people all over the world can attend this program, which was very local actually, here in Hollywood. This is very new approach for us. And this pandemic situation deeply makes us to think about the cause of the Buddha's life and Buddha's path. He really identified with the sufferings of the people, disease, old age, and death. Now, we are just in the middle of this situation. His motive is really based on his love and compassion to the human beings in the world. If we think of this pandemic situation, we really think how we can beyond these sufferings and focus on the purpose of our life. Today is the birthday of Buddha. The birthday of Buddha is the full moon of in the month of Vaishak in India. In Japan, on the 8th of April, they bathe the baby Buddha with amacha, with a herb tea, which has a significance of the nectar. Today, we will also bathe the baby Buddha with amacha tea after this program. Now, we will look over the life of Buddha first. Every year, the first part of our program has been about the same, about the life of Buddha. About part 1 of this program, this story is mainly based on the book of Hajime Nakamura, who studied especially the primitive Buddhism in Pali and Sanskrit. Through the grace of the Lord, many people helped to make this presentation, actually. And again, thank you to Swami Atma Tattwananda, who is now in the hospital, Dana Gladstone, Elia Oblong, and Pat Bro, who passed away several years ago. And thank you for who helped to bring about these offerings to the Lord Buddha today. Without their help, this could not have been completed. And this program about part 2. Today we will invite the minister of Honen-in Buddhist temple in Japan. This is the first attempt for us to invite the outside religious leader. This temple is belonging to the Pure Land Buddhism, the path of bhakti. Their main practice is the japa, repetition of the mantra. Today, he will kindly chant for us in the Buddhist shrine in Kyoto City in Japan. In this program, we're able to help you to contemplate on Buddha. This is our purpose, so that we will really meditate on Buddha tonight. Now, we want to chant. No, I'm sorry. So now we want to see the life of Buddha. Thank you. To contemplate on Buddha. This is our purpose, so that we will really.
From The Great Master by Swami Saradananda.
We do not get as detailed an account of Buddha's sadhanas, detachment from the world, his leaving home, the purpose of becoming an anchorite, and afterwards of his establishing the Dharma Chakra, the wheel of religion. However, a little of the history of his spiritual moods is available, like the case of other spiritual heroes. It is recorded that abstaining from food and drink and taking a firm resolve to succeed, he was engaged in practicing austerity and meditation for 6 long years without leaving his seat, and that controlling the internal vital forces and practicing meditation, he entered into samadhi. His biographer has also tried to vivify his struggle against the latent impressions of the mind by introducing the story of his fight with Mara.
In the forest, Gautama did severe austerities such as no one had done before him or since. Even though he did so for 7 years, he found that he could not attain supreme peace and the wisdom which goes beyond suffering. Exhausted, he came down from the mountain, went down to the river Naranjara to purify himself in order to carry on his spiritual practices. But his body was so frail that when he went to take his bath in the river, he was too weak to get out. At that time, a tree on the river bank seemed to reach down kindly with its branches so that Gautama could pull himself out of the river. Near the river was the village of Sena, and about this time a young girl, Sujata, came from there to the place where Gautama was sitting under the tree. She saw the frail and wasted body of Gautama and offered some pious rice pudding to him. He gratefully said, "I have practiced many extreme austerities, and thus I have learned about the sufferings of the people. Now I accept this offering, not out of desire, but so that with this body I can attain the highest realization, the supreme peace, and share it with all human beings. But the 5 ascetics saw him accepting food from the girl and said, "Greed has grown in his mind, and he's given up his austerities." They deserted him and left him alone by the river.
Then Gautama went to the place which we now call Buddha Gaya. There he made a resolution. I will remain on this spot, seated here, absorbed in meditation, until I attain enlightenment, even though this body may decay in the effort. So Gautama sat under the Bodhi tree alone and pondered, "The world is full of pain and suffering. There is no life without suffering. Why do we keep on suffering? What is the cause of this suffering? How can we remove this cause? Is there a way out of this suffering?" He meditated, going deeper and deeper, until the eye of wisdom, which sees reality, opened in him. The greatest wisdom appeared in him, the light appeared in him, and the eternal shining light shone in him. He attained supreme enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Light shone all around him as he sat for 7 days in a state of joy. An arrogant Brahmin happened to pass by, and on seeing Gautama Buddha, he was surprised at the light radiating from the one who woke up. He bowed low before him in reverence. When it started to rain, the Naga god appeared and coiled 7 times around his body and made a hood, much like that of a cobra, over his head to shelter him from the rain and wind. After 7 days, Gautama Buddha came out of his meditation and became aware of the outside world. The Naga god uncoiled and with great respect bowed low before him. For another 7 days, Gautama Buddha stayed seated there, immersed in the joy of supreme peace.
This is from the book, Great Master. It is describing the condition at the beginning of the organization of the Vedanta Society in India. Here, we means direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna.
The devotees, we said before, brought the master for the treatment of his throat disease to a hired house, at first at Champukar in Calcutta, and afterwards to a garden house at Kashipur, a little to the north of the city. Accompanied by 2 of his co-disciples, Swami Vivekananda went away to Buddha Gaya without the knowledge of anybody, a few days after the master came to the Kashipur garden. At that time, the study of the extraordinary life of Lord Buddha and conversation about his detachment from the world, his renunciation and austerity were going on night and day amongst us. On the wall of the small room on the southern side of the ground floor of the garden house, which we always used, was written the word from the Lalita Vishtara, indicative of the firm resolve of Buddha. I will sit continuously on the same seat and practice meditation and steady abstraction of mind till I realize that enlightened state, which is gained only through effort lasting for ages. Let the body be destroyed in the attempt if it is to be so, flashing before our eyes day and night. These words always reminded us that we also would have to sacrifice our lives for the realization of God, who is of the nature of truth. We must also follow the maxim of the Lalita Vishtava. Thus, in the midst of these endless discussions on the Buddha's detachment from the world, Swami Vivekananda suddenly went away to Buddha Gaya. But he did not inform anyone where he was going or when he would return. So we thought he would not perhaps return to us at all, to the world, anymore, and we would not see him again. Word came afterwards that he had put on ochre cloth and gone.
Gautama Buddha, shining in golden splendor, said to himself, "How can I tell others about this enlightenment, this absolute peace beyond suffering?" Thinking thus, he remained seated there, deep in meditation. Then the Lord of the world, Brahma, came and bowed down to him and beseeched him. Gautama Buddha, shining in golden splendor, said to himself, "How can I tell others about this enlightenment, this absolute peace beyond suffering?" Thinking thus, he remained seated there, deep in meditation. Then the Lord of the world, Brahma, came and bowed down to him and beseeched him. "O noble one, please teach people. In this world there are some people who are born pure. Please give these people your noble teaching, that they also may attain enlightenment like you." As Gautama Buddha remained sitting there quietly, Brahma repeated his request again and again. At last, moved by Brahma's intense pleading, Gautama Buddha, who was full of compassion for all beings, sentient and insentient, came down from meditation and began to become aware of the outside world around him, which now appeared to him like a pond of lotuses. He said, "One lotus sprouted in the water, grew bigger and bigger, but still remained immersed in the water. Another lotus sprouted in the water, grew bigger and bigger, till it touched the surface of the water. A third lotus also sprouted in the water, grew and grew, broke through the surface of the water, and then raised itself above the surface, where its flowers and leaves were untouched by the water. Where can I find people in this world like this last lotus? People who can rise above the desires of this world and remain untouched by lust, greed, and envy. To such people I must give this teaching first. Only they will be able to grasp the teaching quickly." He considered this question till he remembered those 5 ascetics who practiced austerities with him, and he set off for the deer park at Sarnath to find them.
This is also from the Great Master, describing the experience or vision of Buddha, from Swami Vivekananda.
Swami said, "O God, make me fit to see your real nature." He then removed all kinds of thought from his mind, and keeping it still and motionless like the flame of a lamp in a windless place, tried to remain in that state. As a result of doing so for a short time, Arenda's mind, which had all along been restrained, used to merge in itself so deeply, even the consciousness of time and his own body disappeared now and then. He sat for meditation in his room when all the household had gone to bed, and spent whole nights that way on many occasions. As a result of that, one day, Narendra had an extraordinary vision. There flowed in my mind a current of serene bliss when I kept it still, devoid of all objects. I felt for a long time, even after the end of the meditation, a sort of intoxication under its impulse. So I did not feel inclined to leave the seat and get up immediately. One day, when I was sitting in that condition at the end of the meditation, I saw the extraordinary figure of a monk appear suddenly, from where I did not know, and stand before me at a little distance, filling the room with a divine effulgence. He was in ochre cloth, with a kamandalu in his hand. His face bore such a calm and serene expression of inwardness, born of indifference to all things, that I was amazed and felt much drawn toward him. He walked forward toward me with a slow step, with his eyes steadfastly fixed on me, as if he wanted to say something. I was seized with fear and could not keep quiet. I got up from my seat, opened the door, and walked out of the room with rapid steps. The next moment I thought, why this foolish fear? I made bold and went back into the room to hear the monk, but he was no longer there. I waited long in vain and felt dejected, repenting that I'd been stupid enough to fly away without listening to him. I have seen many monks, but never have I found such an extraordinary expression in any other face. That face has been indelibly imprinted in my heart. It may be an hallucination, but very often it comes to my mind that I had the good fortune of seeing the Lord Buddha that day.
Seeing Gautama Buddha at a distance coming toward them, the 5 ascetics said, "There's that Gautama. He gave up practicing austerities. Why should we have anything to do with him?" But as he came near, they saw a change in him. They saw the light in him. So the ascetics silently welcomed him, made a seat for him, and washed his feet. Then they asked him for his teaching. Gautama Buddha gave his first sermon, setting in motion the wheel of truth. There are 2 things which we should not do. One is to indulge in pleasure and do whatever we like. The other is to torture oneself. Neither of these help us. What can help us? The middle path. Everyone thinks, I will not die, I will not become old, I will not fall sick. But we cannot avoid these in our life. Everything is momentary, changing. Then why do we suffer? Because of our ignorance. We are attached to our selfish desires and forget the truth. But we can go beyond pain and suffering and attain supreme peace. Hearing these teachings, the 5 ascetics were greatly delighted, and they also found the truth beyond all sorrows and doubts. Absorbed in the truth, they said, "O noble one, we renounce the world for this teaching." They decided to live their lives as monks in a new way, according to the Buddha's teachings, and went about asking for alms. Hearing this noble news, all gods and goddesses were exceedingly joyful. All creation became joyous as understanding, compassion, and peace spread throughout the land.
In this way, the eternal wheel of truth was set in motion. Having once started to turn, this wheel of truth will never stop. Through time, it has become bigger and bigger, and this noble teaching has spread throughout the world. Even now, after more than 2,500 years, this wheel of truth is still turning, round and round, incessantly. Even today, Gautama Buddha is guiding people to the light. This is from Buddha's Message to the World by Swami Vivekananda.
The life of Buddha has an especial appeal. All my life I've been very fond of Buddha, but not of his doctrine. I have more veneration for that character than for any other. That boldness, that fearlessness, and that tremendous love. He was born for the good of men. Others may seek God. Others may seek truth for themselves. He did not even care to know truth for himself. He sought truth because people were in misery.
Song to Buddha. If we call the name of Buddha, he is here with me vividly. He is here with me vividly.
Thank you very much for this very beautiful chanting. This is the this is the traditional chanting for the Amitabha Buddha in Jodoshu Pure Land Buddhist sect. Whenever I hear this chanting, I feel this spontaneous love flows toward the Amitabha Buddha. In Sanskrit, Bu means in wake up, to really know. Buddha means anyone whose mind is enlightened or who is trying to be so. Normally, if we say Buddha, it means Gautama Buddha. Today, we want to learn about another Buddha, Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha means infinite light, and Amitayus means infinite life. So Amitabha is also called the Buddha of immeasurable light and life. In the sutra, that Amitabha, after accumulating great merit over countless lives, finally achieved Buddhahood. By the power of his vows, Amitabha has made it possible for all the people who call upon him to be reborn into the Pure Land, called Skabati, possessing blissfulness and ultimately become bodhisattvas and Buddhas in their turn. This Pure Land Buddhism, Jodoshu, is a branch of East Asian Buddhism, one of the major influence in Mahayana Buddhism. This sect has an openness and acceptance of all kinds of people. They worship Amitabha Buddha. They are in Bhakti Marga, the path of devotion, to practice repeating the name of the Lord. So now we want to go to the next session, question and answer. So may I ask to the 神将様 I call always 神将様 but 住職様 ご住職様 Where is your mind during chanting this beautiful mantra? on his image, or his face, his feet, or just mantra itself, or nothing. このお経を聞かせていただくときはいつでも自然に阿弥陀様への愛が流れ出てくるように感じます。お心は一体どこにあられるのでしょうか。御像ですか？お顔にありますか？おみ足ですか？それとも念仏自体ですか？それとも何もないのですか？どうぞお願いします。
仏様の心ですね。仏様そのものと言ってもいいですが、あえて言えば仏様の心だ。皆様を
on the heart of the Buddha. The Buddha of Buddha. Please, もうお願いします。お願いします。
この仏様の心というのは大いなる慈悲ですね。皆様を目覚めさせたいという心だと思います。
That the heart of Buddha is concentrated with compassion, with divine love. And next what he said, もう一度おっしゃってください。最後の部分。
皆様を仏様にしたい、目覚めさせたいっていう慈悲の心だ。
His desire is wakes up all the people to the enlightenment.
仏教では私たちの心を愛と言いまして、仏様の心を慈悲と表現します。
もう一度初めのところ、仏教では私たちの心、わかりました。In the Buddhism、私たちの心は慈悲であり、私たちの心は何であるとおっしゃいます？
愛ですね、ラブですね。
In Buddhism, in our heart, as a human being, we call love. But in Buddhism, we call jihi in Japanese. Jihi, we can say compassion, but actually not compassion in Japanese jihi. Jihi means compassion with divine love or identification with others.
ですからお釈迦様がおっしゃったことを一言で言えば、人間は愛するから苦しむということだったと思います。
If I say one word from the Buddha's word, the human suffering is because of the love of the people. Means that this love is, in my understanding, attachment. Attachment of the people is a cause of the suffering. そしたらその次、
愛するから喜びがもたらされますが、愛するから苦しみをもたらされます。
はい。If we love someone, matter of course, the joy will come. But at the same time, sufferings also will come to us. お願いします。
なので、仏教で言うと、愛は地球を救いません。愛することが戦争の原因です。愛国心が戦争の原因だと考えます。
Because of that, I say the love that can't help the earth. That become, I think love means attachment, with attachment. If you love, that is the cause of the war also, means attachment. So, can I say next question? 次、よろしいでしょうか？
はい。
はい。In the Pure Land, I heard that the mantra itself is very important. It will be unnecessary to make the effort to visualize the Buddha. I think the vision may come as a result after the effort of the repetition of the mantra. May I ask about it? 浄土宗では念仏が一番重要であって、仏様を献身するという努力は必要ないと聞いたことがあります。しかし、念仏の努力の末には仏様がお現れになるという思いがあるのですが、それについてお聞かせ願えますでしょうか。
はい、お現れになる方もいれば現れないと思います。私には現れています。
Some people can see, means the Buddha appears some people, but not all of them. Some of them can't. For me, in my case, the Buddha didn't appear to me. お願いします。
この世で現れなくても、ピュアランドに行けば出会えるわけですから、
Okay.
それを信じて生きるっていうのが法然っていうお坊さんの教えだと思います。
Now, in this world, in this situation, we can't meet the Buddha. But if we go to the Skavati, we can meet Buddha, see Buddha. So we don't need to worry. That is the teaching of the founder. お願いします。
私は基本的には自己中心的な人間ですけれども、南無阿弥陀仏を唱えていると、私の中の仏様と同じ心が起こってくることもある。はい、
I'm a very selfish person, actually. Always I'm thinking myself. But if I chant and whenever I think of Amitabha Buddha, I can expand the mind to the Buddha. もう一度お願いします。仏様の心が
私の中に働いて、慈悲の行が実践できることもある。
That the Jihi means compassion with divine love. That compassion enter into myself, into me from the Buddha, and the quality and my action become like a Buddha sometimes. お願いします。
つまり私たちは普通は損得、自分がこうすることで得をするか損をするかということで生きてるんですけれども、
we always
仏様の心が重なると、これが良いか悪いかというふうに行動することができることもあります。
Always we are acting or living to think about our merit. Can I gain something or not? But whenever I think Buddha, really I forget my merit and just I think of the Buddha. And I think I can identify with the heart of Buddha. どうおっしゃいましたっけ？仏様の心に
仏様の心に重ねて慈悲を実践することもできることもある。
I can identify with the Buddha and I can practice the jihi, compassion to others. では次言ってよろしいでしょうか？
はい。
Then, how to cultivate the love for Buddha? Only just chanting or the repetition of the sacred mantra? Nembutsu only? It might become mechanical for us. ご経験において、ただ念仏をするだけで、仏様への愛を育てていくことができるでしょうか？この唱えていただいたお経の雰囲気だけでも何か大切なものを私たちは感じることができるのですが、時々機械的になってしまうのではないでしょうかとお願いします。
もちろんお経を聞いていただいてそういう気持ちになることもあるかもしれませんが、まず自分が南無阿弥陀仏と唱えていただくことが法然上人の教えでは大事だと思います。
Whenever you hear and you can feel the love to Buddha, it happened. But the teaching of the founder is just you yourself have to do the practice. Means chant the name of the mantra, repetition of the name of the Lord. That is more important. Then, is it if we repeat always the chanting or Nembutsu? Sometimes mechanical. So, what can we do? 時々その念仏が機械的になることがあると思うんですが、ではどのようにすればよろしいでしょうか？
機械的になっても一個に差し支えありません。
Doesn't matter. Mechanical is no matter.
私も40年以上唱えていますが、長年唱えているうちに先ほど申し上げた仏様の慈悲の心が重なって行動できることもあると。それが大事だと思います。
Now I'm chanting for 40 years, but during chanting, as a result, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, I can generate the heart of Buddha. Heart of Buddha, Jihi of Buddha. Jihi means compassion with divine love, identification with others. That with that heart of Buddha, with that we can act to others or in our day-to-day life. お願いします。
人の心は移ろいやすいものですから、修行したら人の心は磨けると、清らかになると思って修行しているお坊さんと、修行しても人の心は、いや自分の心は自由にならないものというように説いた法然というお坊さんの仏教があると。つまり修行する仏教と仏様を信じましょうということですね。
Two kinds of Buddhism. One, I can practice. I can have the austerity, discipline, and I can purify, and I can become more pure and attain to the enlightenment. But another sect is, another not sect, kind of austerities will be depend on the power of Buddha or compassion of Buddha. Just rely on that Buddha. Yes. お願いします。
つまり唱えていると自分が清らかになっていくと思って修行することを一生実践していくというお坊さんたちと私みたいに修行しても変われないと思って心が集中できても集中できなくてもとにかく南無阿弥陀仏と唱えていけるというこういうお坊さんの2種類があると思う。
Excuse me. It's very difficult. ちょっと待ってください。一つのタイプはこれだけをすれば清まって修行ができるというふうに思う人と、もう一つの人は初めから自分はできてないけどもそのできてないままにやっていくという人ですね。
やってみてもできる時もあればできない時もある。例えば念仏も集中できる時もあれば集中できない時もある。それが人間だと思ってそのまま唱えたらいいんじゃないかというのが法然上人の教えだと。
One idea is if you purify yourself, you can purify and you become you can become pure and pure. But another sect, another type of the monks or sadhakas is I have the desires and I have the many limitations, but with that limitations, I want to chant. I want to do the austerities, disciplines. Sometimes I get some ideal state, but sometimes I'll not be. But I don't mind. I don't care about it. Just I want to practice going on and on and on. So he said two type of the sadhakas, but one type which that the founder of this Jodoshu is recommending is you don't need to care about purified or not. Just going on to practice. Just practice and practice, so that you'll get some purification. But that also you don't need to get the purification. Just you can continue to practice the repetition of the mantra. You don't need the result. そういうことですね。
はい。
では次の質問でよろしいでしょうか。
はい、どうぞ。
Honen Shonin, the founder of this Jodo sect, said, when he was 24 years old, after about 11 years of his sadhana in Mount Hiei, he went down to the Kyoto city to pray Shakyamuni Buddha for the enlightenment. And he noticed about the people who is suffering. He wanted to find out the path to help for others. He wanted to help to find out the path for the salvation for others. This incident touches my heart very much. Very impressive for me also. I feel this is the real motive of his teachings. In our record, I remember that Swami Vivekananda wandered in India and saw the sufferings of the people. At the end, he reached at Kanyakumari and he cried bitterly for the sufferings of the people and entered into the samadhi for 3 days. And he determined to help others, the people who is suffering. I feel the same strong intention for the welfare of the human beings. What is your idea? Please tell us something. 24歳の時、本年上人が佐賀の釈迦堂で求道の成就を祈願された時、苦悩している人々をご覧になり、このように苦悩している人々の救済を真に求められたと聞いております。私たちの開祖の弟子、スワミ・ビベカーナンダもインド中行脚して人々の苦悩を目の当たりに見て、旅の最後、カニヤクマリで人々の苦悩に号泣され、三昧に3日間入られ、苦悩している人々のために何かをしようと決意なさったと聞いております。私は人類に対する救済への共通の願いをこのお二人に感じてなりません。どのように思われますでしょうか。
はい。すべて宗教を開いた人、セクトを開いた人は、何とかしてみんながここから一緒に抜け出したいと思ってそれをしようとされたと思います。それは全く一緒だと思います。
I think all founders in all the religions, they were struggling for the sake of the people to help from the sufferings. はい、お願いします。
要はすべての生きとし生けるものがどうしたら仲間同士だと思ってすべての人を慈しみ悲しんでいけるのか、あるいは他の生き物も含めてすべての種上生きとし生けるものを慈しみ悲しめるのか、これが人類永遠のテーマだと思います。
This is a theme of the human being, how to help all beings, including human being and all the beings, to help and identify with them. That is our real purpose of the cause of the teachings. お願いします。
仏教でいうと、みんながお釈迦様を手本にして、みんながお釈迦様みたいになろうねっていう仏教。
はい。
私はお釈迦様みたいには絶対なれないよねと。こういう仏教が2つあって。
In the religion, two type of religions. One kind is I can be the Buddha, so I want to be the Buddha. So they are making the effort. But another kind is no, I can't. I will not be able to. There are two type of the religion there in the world. What he said. お願いします。
つまり自分の心を信じられる人と自分の心を信じられない人がいるということだ。
Means as a gist, what I want to say is the person who can believe in themselves, and another is who can't believe themselves. Okay?
ですから
The
自分の
person,
心を信じて
ちょっと待ってください。一人は一つのone kind is I can believe in myself, trust in myself. But another kind is I cannot believe in myself. I cannot trust in myself. Two kinds. So どうぞお願いします。
なので自分で仏様になれない人は仏様にしていただくしかない
あります。
というのが。
Yes, then the person who can't believe in myself, what can they do? So that person, only the way is believe in God or Buddha. So that by Buddha's power, I can proceed. So お願いします。
つまり自分が修行をして賢くなってあなたも一緒に賢くなりましょうねっていう仏教と、私は生涯一生愚かである、あなたも愚か、私も愚か、人間は基本的に愚かであるということを認め合って許し合って生きるしかないなっていう仏教があるんだと思う。
Two kinds of religions. One is you're great. No, but I'm practicing, and you also you can practice with me, like me, and we are practicing, believing their own selves. But another kind is I'm doing, but I can't. I can't do perfectly, and you can't do perfectly. So let's do together, and we can proceed. But with incompleteness. One kind is we want to be complete. We want to be perfect. So everyone wants to be perfect. But the other is I can't be perfect. So I want to proceed with imperfectness. Now I get the point. Yes. お願いします。
お釈迦様がおっしゃったことは、私が絶対正しいとは言うなということだったと。
Buddha said, don't say, I am the right person. What I said is only the right. Buddha said, no, that we can't say. Then, お願いします。
世界にはたくさんの宗教がありますけれども、それぞれみんな人が安らかになる方法を説いていると思います。
There are many religions in the world, and they are saying to get a peace of the mind or peace of the world. お願いします。
でもそれぞれの人の心にはそれぞれにふさわしい教えがあると。こういう意味で仏教にはたくさんのセクトがあるんだろうと思います。
There are many in the world, many tendencies of the people. So there are many sects in the Buddhism also. 次へ行ってよろしいですか？
はい。
時間がだいぶなくなってきましたので、
はい
ちょっとIn this pandemic situation, I heard many people committed suicide. Many young people cannot come out from their own house or room. What is the message for these people? ごめんなさい。このパンデミックの中で自殺や引きこもりの人が多いと聞いております。何かこのことについて、またはメッセージはございますか？
人はずっとウイルスと付き合って生きてきました。だから昔の人もこういった経験をされて、それでも生きてこられたと思います。
Now we have to live with a virus. And in the past also, they lived with a virus or those kind of disease. お願いします。
ですから今は苦しくても今は不自由でもこれがずっと続くわけではないっていうのも歴史が教えるところだと思います。
Now we are very suffering and very bitterly. We had many things to face, but this will not continue forever. Surely this will have the end. We can see in the history also. お願いします。
ですから大事なことは今を諦めて未来は諦めない。今の状況をしっかり見つめて未来は自分で勝手にこうなると決めないでまた私も幸せに生きられる時が来ると信じて生きるということしかないと思います。
Now you have to see the world really directly and believe in the future. You will be more better and you will become much prosper and become peaceful. So you have to believe in that. What you excuse me, すいません、お願いします。もう一度ちょっと最後の方が。
大事なことは自由にならないことを人にぶつけるのではなくて、つまり人に対して怒るのではなくて、お互いに至らないことを悲しみ合って支え合って生きるしかないと。怒らないで悲しみましょう。悲しみ合いましょう。
There are impossible things. Impossible things are impossible. So we cannot make the effort. But we can see the possible things to see and we can go forward or we can proceed. Only that is an attitude. And 最後のところお願いします。
はい。つまり私たちは今を諦めて未来は諦めない。怒らないで悲しみ合って生きるしかない。
Now we have to live now. No, we should not. We have to give up now to see the situation, and we have to live in the future. Means we have to have the hope in the future, and we have to support each. 支え合ってとおっしゃいましたね。Support each other. Yes. Now, ちょっと聞きたいんですが、昔から若い頃から森の会をなさっておられると聞いておりますが、それについてお話願えますか？ Now, I heard from young age you are organizing study group for the forest. Could you please talk about it?
インドで生まれた仏教は輪廻という考え方を前提にしています。
はい。In the religion in India, they have the concept of the endless rebirth. We call samsara. はい、お願いします。
私とダヤプラナさんも前の世では兄弟だったかも しれないし、
I
牛
am,
も役立つかもしれないし。
you and myself is a previous lives in maybe brother and sister. And この間のお話だと、I might be an insect in the forest, I might be a frog in the river. So, お願いします。
つまり森を見るっていうことは、すべての生き物が仲間同士だと思っていける一つのきっかけを与えてくれる。
If you see the forest, whenever I see the forest, there is a chance to see we are related each other. We are connected each other. That through observing the forest, I can have the chance to think about it. お願いします。
つまり宗教というのは人に安らぎを与えるものですが、時にでも自分が正しいというために宗教を使うと、宗教は戦争の手段になってしまう。
ちょっと待って。何が戦争の手段になるか。
宗教がですね、自分が正しいというために宗教を用いると、宗教は戦争の手段と。
If ちょっと初め忘れちゃった。初めのところは何とおっしゃるの？
宗教は人に安らぎを与える素晴らしい。
The religion is giving the peace normally. But if you think I'm right in the religion, that become a cause of the war in the world. What he said. Yes, now I get. お願いします。
私の心にふさわしいのは法然というお坊さんの仏教でしたが、皆様にはそれぞれにふさわしい宗教があるんだと思いますので、手段が違っていても、作業は一緒に安らかになりましょうねっていう気持ちで生きたらどうでしょうか。
So we are totally different paths, but we shall let's go together to the goal of our enlightenment of Buddha. そう、今日はどうもありがとうございました。本当にお手をいただきまして、本当に心からお礼を申し上げます。本当にいろいろな本当にありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
今日ちょっとご挨拶申し上げます。Now we invite you all to offer flowers and herb tea, Amach tea, to the Lord Buddha. So may Gautama Buddha's blessings come to all of us. We may be able to carry on the Buddha's love and compassion in our heart. And let's try to contemplate what we learned here today. Thank you very much. May Gautama Buddha's blessings come to us all. どうもありがとうございました。